Welcome to Open Mic with Groove Kitty. Our aim is to have authentic, engaging conversations with interesting people. This podcast is for you, so please share, like, follow, and subscribe. When you do, it increases our exposure on each platform, which in turn helps to promote our guests. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. Now, without further ado, on to our show.
What's the name of this one?
Dust You Off.
Dust You Off?
Yeah, it's either about a car or a woman. So you'll use your
Or
imagination.
a woman in your car.
Yeah, it could be. I bet you ain't seen the sunshine. Does he treat you right or keep you locked inside? If you feel what I'm feeling, I might let you do the steering. All night I wanna dust you off. I wanna dust you off. Take a few curves around your block. I wanna dust you off. Bring around my friends and show you off. This ain't something I do. I sure love to put some miles on you. You take a joyride or two and dust you off. They don't make them like they used to. They're all cheap and plastic and held together with glue. Got a real good feeling, I'll keep your wheel spinning. All night I wanna dust you off. Oh, I wanna dust you off. Take a few curves around your block. I wanna dust you off. Bring you around my friends and show you off. This ain't something I do. I sure love to put some miles on you. You take a joyride or two and dust you off. All right now. Oh, I wanna dust you off. Take a few curves around your block. Oh, I wanna dust you off. Bring around my friends and show you off. This ain't something I do. I sure love to put some miles on you. Take a joyride or two and dust you off. This ain't something I do. I sure love to put some miles on you. Take a joyride or two and dust you off. This ain't something I do. I sure love to put some miles on you. Take a joyride or two and dust you off. Thank you. It's a fun one, right?
Well, that's the idea. There's sort of, there's no format, by the way. Just
Yeah.
whatever we want to talk about. It's whatever interests us, really. So,
Cool.
same idea with people coming in, like the idea of bringing different people together. Hey, this person's coming, that person. Let's all come together and just sort of have some fun and do stuff. Because that's
Yeah.
kind of how this whole sort of thing started, even with us. It was kind of just like getting to know different people in the industry, promoting different people, jamming, having a good time. This person meets that person, and suddenly they form a thing together.
Yeah,
and
make different connections.
yeah, I'm kind of into that whole thing. So this was sort of a next step for that. Okay, now you're kind of getting to meet all these people. How can we showcase different people? And maybe this person sees this guy and says, "Oh, I got this thing going that could be interesting for that. I'm doing a festival. I'm looking for a country music guy to come in
Right.
who's who I can do like a firefighter calendar with." And
Yeah.
and go from there. So that's sort of the general idea, is just sort of organic, music-based.
Yeah. Music helping music.
Yeah.
Music helping music, exactly.
100%, yeah.
Because there's room for all of us,
It's true.
right? There's room
Yeah.
for all of us, and there's no reason why we can't promote one another. And we're in a kind of a market where promotion from the venues can be hard to come by.
Yeah.
So if you've got a presence on social media, like Groove Kitty does, and we'll say, hey, go see our friends Better on Wine, go see our friends, whoever that's playing this week. And, then people show up and everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah, we've been finding over the last year probably, every show we do, there's like 5 or 6, 7, 8 other musicians that are coming
Yeah.
from that. And we're doing the same thing. 4 of us went out the other night to watch another band at Rivertown. And if we have a night off, we just kind of call each other up and say, hey, what are you doing? And, oh, that band, what do you guys, let's all go watch these guys. And
Yeah. Show support.
yeah, it's kind of fun that way. It's kind of fun. And then it helps when you have like situations where you're just looking for something, or you haven't, you're talking shop. Give me what are you doing for this, or do you ever had that problem before? Or we got Alan's going to be away for a show we got coming up next month, and okay, I know 3 other bass players. Hey, when you guys want to pick this up? Here's the set list. And in fact, Wash from Hibachi is going to take your spot for that show. So
Okay, and I always tell them, screw up a little.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't,
So you don't get.
don't nail it.
Yeah.
But then it's fun because other people get to sort of collaborate and do something different and maybe play, because we play more sort of dance type songs, club type songs, and
Get the people going.
yeah, they're playing something. What Wash plays in their band, Hibachi Heroes, they play a little bit different, so he gets to do some new stuff that maybe he wouldn't do before. I've sat in with bands and played stuff I've never played before, and it's just kind of fun that way.
Yeah. It's how you learn too.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
Learn new stuff.
Now, do you play with any bands now, or just the solo
No.
stuff?
Just solo.
Yeah.
I've thought about getting into it a little bit, maybe in the future, but
Yeah,
no real set in stone plans yet.
you like doing just the solo stuff?
Yeah.
It's different, right? Because it's nice because you kind of just do your own thing and you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
anybody but yourself. And
Exactly. Yep. Depend on myself, practice myself, and just execute.
yeah. So that was a big deal for me. I recently started doing solo stuff for the first time like 4 or 5 months ago, and I kind of did it because people were asking me, and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. So I was like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
If I don't feel comfortable doing it, I'm
It makes you better.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
I got so used to being sort of protected by the band.
Yep.
And I'm one of those people that I sort of have this mantra in my life: if I don't want to do it, I probably should.
Yeah.
So do hard things, kind of thing.
That's how you grow.
And and so it sort of pushed me into that space. So I really respect the fact that you do that, because it took a little while for me to get comfortable. Getting to that point now, I'm feeling comfortable doing it. But in the beginning, it was like just a whole different bear,
It's like anything, isn't it? It doesn't look as hard until you try it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then you're up there alone. You're like,
See, I will say that about country music. My experience, I played in a country music band for about 5 years with Lauren Hall. And great experience. I'm a rock and roller from way back. So I had to learn how to play country music because it sounds very simple.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of breathing room, definitely less and more, but you realize, there really is no place to hide.
Yeah.
So it's got to be on the pocket. And also, doing concerts with Lauren, you see other country players and you realize how good these musicians are, because again, there's no place to hide. So there's no thrashers, noisemakers that can, sort of cover their tracks with pixie dust. It's just amazing genre. And for you to do it by yourself, that's a high bar.
yeah, I think so too.
Is that fair to say that you're primarily country music at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
100%, yeah.
If I play anything different, it's just dependent upon the night, whether it's Nickelback or like some 80s stuff, just random, sprinkle it in, keep people on their toes.
And where's the background for that? Where'd you grow up at? I don't even know where you grew up at.
I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Originally,
So that's not the mecca of country music.
No, not at all.
You don't sound like you're from Cleveland.
No, I know. I've been here almost 9 years now, so
Okay.
it's growing on me. But I did grow up with my dad being in a country band in the 90s
Okay.
in Cleveland.
Well, that was kind of a big burgeoning time. Country
Yeah.
kind of went mainstream in
Oh,
the
yeah.
90s, yeah? So
Big time.
You
They-
kind of grew up around that then?
Yeah. That kind of is what set me in this track of music,
Did he play or just was really into the...
He played. He was like the front man
Oh,
of the
okay.
band. Yeah. They were Tom Wilson and Texas Storm.
All right. So you saw it from right from the seats then. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get to see
I was
it.
on stage with them.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
that's
You
neat.
bring me up. I was just a little kid. You know.
That's neat.
But I did go away from it for a while, like listening to country music and stuff. And I want to say in high school, I was in construction, so we were doing like manual labor and stuff. And a lot of the guys listened to country music, and that kind of put me right back in it.
Yeah.
So,
And then you pick the guitar back up.
yep.
When did you start playing?
First time like having a guitar, I was 12. My dad got me a like Stratocaster, like a Mexican Fender, you know.
Yeah.
Learned a couple chords on that and put it down for I don't know a few years or so, and didn't pick it back up until after high school. And then I moved here, put it down again for another couple years, and then ever since then I picked it back up and I haven't put it down.
Yeah, good.
You know, it's one of those things that I learned if you put it down, you're always going to come back, but you're going to be farther behind than you would be if
Yeah.
you would have just stuck with it. You know,
Mm.
those days we don't want to play, don't want to practice and stuff like that. You have to make yourself do it.
Yeah, I think it's like anything, right? It's the 10,000-hour theory. You know, you
Yeah.
got to put that time in, and it can definitely be. I try to practice every day if I can. Do something either like vocal exercises or whatever I'm going to be doing every day. And there are days when it just you don't. It's like working out. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't want
but
to.
You got to go, and
Don't feel like it.
especially. I mean, you got a pretty demanding career and a pretty demanding job. So
Yeah.
that must make it a challenge too, right? Because
Yeah.
do you have for people who don't know, you're a firefighter.
Yes.
And
time.
I don't know that much about it, but I do know like you guys have how's the shifts work here? You have like 36 on type of things, or
We do 48 on
48 on?
and 96 off. So it's 2 days on consecutive and then 4 days off.
Okay, so with that, I mean, are you just practicing at the firehouse when you can, or are you just too busy, or like,
Sometimes.
yeah.
Every day is different.
yeah,
You know, whether we're training or we have events lined up or just running calls all day. By the time you get back to the station, you have downtime.
yeah.
You know, sometimes I don't really want to pick up a guitar and do it, but I do sometimes.
But are you also like the guy in the firehouse who was like, "Hey, man, let's play us some music"?
yeah,
type
let's
of
go
thing?
let a campfire out back and play some songs. Yeah.
Does that get annoying sometimes?
No, not really.
Because I know for me, sometimes people are like, "Oh, can you just break out your guitar?" Okay, I like to play, but sometimes it's like
Yeah. Maybe
play
not now.
to play on demand isn't always the most
Yeah.
fun.
It's like play, go monkey.
Exactly,
dance.
go little monkey.
Yeah.
We'll give you a quarter and you
Yeah.
can play some songs for us. Yeah.
That's how I feel when someone yells out a song to play at a gig with no like asking.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like play this, and I'm like,
We
have-
call those ask holes.
Yeah.
there you go.
We have a way with dealing with that now.
What's that?
Someone
Oh,
says they'll yell out, "Hey, play whatever, pick a song. Do you know this one?" I'm like, "Yep. You know what? We'll do it right now for you." And we just play whatever we're going to play anyway.
There you
And
go.
we say that's our version of the song
Yeah.
you asked for.
Yeah, we just changed it a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
just changed it. We rearranged it a little bit. That was it. And the look on their face when you say yes and you start playing something completely different, there's this, it depends on how drunk they are. You get this great confused look, which is very amusing for like 10 or 15 seconds. So they figure out you're not even close to what they were
Yeah.
looking for.
Or they're like, did I really? Is that what I asked? Like make them
I never-
rethink what they thought.
I never thought about that. Maybe that's the confusion I'm seeing.
Could be.
Okay, so you're a firefighter. So I think
Yep.
I'd love to talk about kind of what's happening in California right now.
Yeah.
It's I'd like to get your perspective because it's fucking wild.
It's nuts. The whole thing's nuts. And it's all little pieces that all had to fall in a row perfectly
Yeah.
for everything to go the way it's going right now.
Tell me more about that.
So fire, wildland fire and residential fire, which is what I do, are like two totally different animals, you know? Wildland fires, they spread like nobody's business. All it takes is a gust of wind or
Yeah.
just the perfect storm to kind of calculate for it to work out the way it does. And in this case, from at least different things I've heard and read and stuff, is the wind played a huge factor in the spread of everything. And when it comes to Mother Nature making it worse than it is, it's a lot harder to kind of play catch up on it,
Yeah.
you know, or kind of gain traction on it and put everything out.
And it just seems like again, this is from a layman's point of view. Like I'm watching the video, right? And I know they, like in the beginning, they had a real struggle because they couldn't get helicopters and planes in the air because of
Yeah.
those winds, right?
Mhm.
But even when I'm watching those things, I'm watching a helicopter drop, water on this thing. It literally looks to me like taking a bucket of water and throwing it on a house that's just blazing.
Yeah, it basically is.
It almost
You
feels
know?
like, does it really even do anything? I mean,
Yeah, to an extent. Just
Yeah.
you would need way more. They just don't have enough resources.
right.
You know? But yeah.
And I think I look at it, and that to me is sort of partially the challenge. Like you say, there's the weather, obviously, it plays a
Yep.
huge part. My understanding is they've had crazy drought there.
Yep.
And I actually heard someone talking, I think it was James Woods was talking the other day on some podcast, and his house burned down. And they were saying that it's mandated, for example, that they clear all the dead brush from their
yeah.
yards,
Yep.
right, or around their properties, I should say. And his frustration was that, like, he was doing it, but some of his neighbors weren't doing it. So then it's
Yeah.
kind of futile. So just so much has to go into everyone doing a piece with the dry brush, with
Yep.
the winds, and then you've got just the literal topography, with the hills and of course, I'm imagining wind and hills both sort of perpetuate fire, going up a hill, for example,
Yes.
versus on a flat land. Yeah.
But that's where it's gotten weird because the wind now it's going downhill.
down. Yeah. They say people, interesting.
So is there some system that's spelling those firefighters on the ground? Like the Los Angeles firefighters have to be exhausted by now.
I've seen different departments locally, or maybe not also right outside of LA, but throughout the whole state that are sending people to help, like some relief. And the same thing happened in like North Carolina and Tennessee with their hurricanes
Yeah.
and stuff. I know my department sent a unit out there to help, and a lot of local departments did as well. Just resources, manpower, and stuff.
Yeah.
Because those guys in California right now, they're busy.
It's
Yeah, busy,
I
yeah.
can't even imagine. I mean, again, I just watch it and I think to myself, how do you even I look at a house burning down and think, how do you get something like that under control? Never mind,
Yep.
it's like 40,000 acres now.
Yep.
That's 3 times the size of Manhattan. I mean, I don't know if people get the scope of how much has been. I think it's a couple thousand houses gone. I
Yeah.
mean, over 100,000 people displaced. I mean, how do you even, like, I see those, it's like you see the video of those complete, almost towns gone. And even just how you even start to clean that stuff up.
Yep.
Like, where does all that go? How do you get it out of there? There's, the roads are just for everything. I can't imagine, like, it just seems overwhelming when I
Yeah.
look at it.
The whole scale is just huge.
Yeah. Not dissimilar to what happened in Maui, right? With
Yeah,
was that a
same
year
thing.
ago now, or
Yeah,
a
in
year and a
Hawaii.
half ago?
Mm-hmm.
They just lost all of that. And of course, like you say, North Carolina, the same thing. I've got friends up in North Carolina. I've been up there quite a bit, actually, since the Helene hit. And it's just phenomenal to see that devastation, and entire towns just gone like that.
Yep, just like that. Everybody's well-being and memories and all that stuff just gone.
And do you think this stuff seems to be happening more and more, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a partially a product of? I heard some person talking about with the fires, for example. Yeah, we've always had fires in California. It's like it is. It's just part of the life out there. But with all the building even that's going on, like in past days, they were saying just like the lemon and orange groves surrounding a lot of the residential areas offered protection to those areas because they're moister, they're not as dry, there's sort of a buffer, right? But now those are gone, there are houses there. And that's even perpetuating, they were saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but that was perpetuating some of the larger scale fires that they're seeing there. I mean, any thoughts on that?
I know specifically when it comes to like construction, at least new construction, the way it's built, what they're using, all of it's kind of, we joke about it and we say like houses built now are held together with glue,
Yeah.
as opposed to real dimensional lumber, as opposed to, I guess like OSB. You ever seen OSB? Like
No.
the plywood that looks like wood chips
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so all that's engineered together with glue,
Oh.
basically. Sheeting on roofs is made with that instead of full sheet plywood.
So you're saying that's making it more flammable?
Yes,
Really?
it burns faster. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So,
Um,
in essence, we're building more flammable houses versus less flammable houses, you think?
yes, 100%.
Wow. See, I would have thought it'd be I thought as time goes on, right, we get better with things like, down here, obviously, hurricane windows and construction for that, and
Mhm.
earthquake stuff. You would think it all would get safer, but I never even thought about
No.
that.
Nope. Even rafters, like on a house, they used to use real dimensional hardwood lumber for building your rafters and everything. Now they use truss systems where they bring in the trusses, lay them out with a crane, and they're held together with what's called gusset plates.
Okay.
It's just like a rectangular piece of aluminum pounded into it, holding every piece together. And those pop at a certain temperature. They just pop out.
So now you get like collapse
Yeah.
and so again, I ask this as an ignorant person. It would seem to me that from a building code perspective, you would always be trying to get things safer. But I guess you're
Right.
balancing that with
Price.
profitability, and price, and and on the other side, again, I'm just thinking in my little scattered monkey brain right now, that you would think that would be a problem for insurance companies. That They would
Yeah.
say, hey,
Yeah.
this kind of construction is less stable, therefore you're going to be less insurable because of that. I
Right.
don't know how that works.
I like to think about it like a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
If it burns up, insurance can just build a new one.
Yeah.
It's not worth, I guess, the cost putting into making it more reliable or more structural than just pay for a new one. Everything's cheaper or
Yeah.
made cheaper.
Right.
Interesting. I do know my one experience with new construction, I won't do it again. When I moved down here, I came from New England. So New England, a new house was built in, 1950.
Yeah.
I mean, they have new construction there, obviously, but I had a house that was built in 1860, for example.
Yep.
And the foundation on that house, you could not drive a tank through that thing.
Yep.
And when I moved down here, I bought my first new construction house. And I thought, oh, this will be great. New construction, everything will be new. It won't be drafty. You won't have all these other things that you deal
Right.
with. Boy, that house was a piece of shit.
Yep.
And it was like more problems with
Leaking
that
roofs.
house. Oh, popping nails. Yeah, leaking roofs.
Yep.
The whole floor bowed after like 4 months, and they tried to say it wasn't bowing. I literally put a marble on the floor. It's rolling across the floor.
Yep.
I'm not in construction, but I'm smart enough to know marbles don't roll
Yeah,
when
it's not
it's
supposed
not
to.
level. And it's not supposed to roll two separate directions. Where I can see the peak right here. And we fought with them and fought with them and fought with it. And you could tell it was very much and we knew several people that had the same built house as we do with the same builder, and they were having problems. And it was one of those situations, I think, where they felt like, well, if we just keep pushing back, they'll eventually give up.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know my wife, who's
on it.
Yeah, she's a tiger, and when she got her mouth around that bone, she wasn't letting go. And I wasn't far behind, but we weren't going to stop. And so they finally, did everything that we needed to have done. And then we sold the house immediately when it was done.
Yeah.
But the other people, they just walked away and just said, it's too much of a hassle. And I thought, yeah, but
That's what they want.
that's what they want, right? And it really kind of frustrated me, and it made me feel like, I just sort of I was raised to do the right thing, and, sort of taught there's certain ethics that you got to have. And you have experiences like that, and it kind of tarnishes you a little bit on what people are willing to do for the almighty buck, right?
Yep.
And so
Right.
now you're talking to me about this type of stuff, and it frustrates me a little bit because now you're talking about people's safety,
Yeah.
right, and
100%.
lives, and your safety as fire. It must be much more difficult to fight a fire.
That's
like
what I
that,
was
right?
thinking. You
Yeah.
know, if you're in a structure to make sure no one else is in there, and they got these things popping off the
Yeah.
joist, that's
Yeah,
They say fire burns hotter and faster now. But it's also, think about everything that's inside of our houses too. Your couches, your tables, it's all engineered petroleum-based
yeah,
products,
that's
It's
true. I didn't
oil.
think about that. Everything's oil.
Yep. It's all just fuel.
Yeah, one of the things I heard them talking about in watching the coverage of the California fires was the toxic smell, like
Yeah.
not just from the smoke, but I mean after the fact, like walking through the neighborhoods that had burned out, all the toxicity in the air from the stuff that had been burned.
Yep. Carbon monoxide, hydrogen cyanide, everything. Anything in everybody's house burning.
Yeah,
You know?
crazy. Now, now you have that. And then if I want to start a fire in my fire pit, it takes me a half an hour to get it.
Right. Right. You need
With
a little
dry
bit of gas.
wood, right?
A little bit of
Like
gas.
why a house will go up like that, but if I
Yeah.
try to burn anything else, I can't burn it to save my life.
Right. How it goes.
Wow.
So in a firehouse, are there like billets? Like certain guy is like the nozzle guy, and certain guy drives. And I know
Yeah.
you got to have like a designated driver.
Mhm.
So what is your
Like my role.
your role?
So I'm a engineer, which basically means I drive the truck. So I'm the one doing the sirens, beep beep. But also I drive an engine, which means we have water and hoses. So I'm also pumping. So I'm doing pump calculations, making sure pressures are right, charging hose lines, all that stuff.
Okay. Wow, I think it seems like the driving would be like really stressful.
Yeah, it depends.
Because I mean, you're how heavy is a fire truck load with water? That's got to be, is it 40,000 pounds?
Yeah, about 45. Yeah,
Yeah.
Damn,
So
good guess there.
that was really good.
my
He's
goodness,
a Navy guy, so he's got a little bit
Oh,
of
that's
yeah.
it.
you could run over anything.
Yep.
You wouldn't want to, of course, but
Mm.
wow.
Yep.
And but I'm all for a clean car. And man, that's what the fire trucks are always clean.
Yeah.
You see these
We
fire
try
trucks.
we try to keep.
You see these fire trucks sometimes in a parade that are from the 40s and 50s, and they are spit shined. It's
Yep.
beautiful.
When did you become fireman?
2016.
Okay. And what was the impetus for that?
Like what got me into it?
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had an accident, and the fire department came, and I remember just kind of how great they were.
Yeah.
Like to me as a kid, I didn't really think much about it going through school. I went through carpentry as a vocation in high school, so I figured, I'll do construction, whatever. And a friend of mine had he had a fire start in his house. Everything was okay. It was a small thing, but I remember we rushed over there. The fire department was there. I was like, wow, those guys are pretty cool, and never really thought about it as a job. And my dad approached me and he was like, you ever thought about getting into the fire department? And I was like, not really, but I'll look into it, And I found a fire academy about 15 minutes from where I was living, where I grew up and stuff. So found out how to go through that and sign up. I paid for myself to go through it. And where I'm working now came and recruited at that fire academy after I graduated. So I took the test for fun as practice, and then I got offered a job and then moved from Cleveland to Charleston.
Nice.
So are the academies private institutions, or are they somehow affiliated with?
Some departments have their own
Okay.
academy to certify people. This one was through a community college
Oh, okay.
kind of thing, to where anybody can just go through it and get the certifications you need to go apply for jobs, as opposed to getting hired by a department and they send you
And
through
then
theirs.
they put you through.
Yeah.
Okay. Because is it like, because with police you go to police academy, which I'm assuming is sort of sanctioned or run by.
It's the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So say if you were to go to apply to work at the Charleston Police Department.
Yep.
If they hired you, they'd send you through their academy to get whatever. I don't know what certifications you need for that, but if I were to go to a community college like Trident or something that offered a law enforcement course kind of thing, I
Okay.
could go pay for myself to go through it and get those certifications.
I didn't realize that. Oh, interesting. Now, how long do you have to for the fire anyway? How long was that?
It's about 3 months.
3 months. Yeah.
Mhm. And that's just fire certifications. We also do EMT.
I was gonna say because you have all
Yeah.
the yeah.
That's about another 3 months or so.
So you came right out of that and had a job waiting for you coming out then.
Yep. And
That's
then
awesome.
they sent me through EMT. I got that, and I've been riding that ever since.
And that's what brought you down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had you ever been down here before?
No, never.
That's a pretty big leap of faith, huh?
Yep.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I was 21. I didn't really have.
Didn't really
I
care.
didn't have anything going for me back home. You
Yeah.
know. So why not?
It's a good attitude. I did similar. I left the country when I was 20. Chased a girl, actually.
Ooh.
And chased a girl in cheaper school. And I was like, shit, why not?
Yeah.
And it was such a great experience to just sort of see the world and go explore different stuff. So
Exactly.
I highly encourage it.
You know, what's funny is when I got orders to Charleston, South Carolina, I remember looking at that and going, huh, South Carolina. And every one of my family members in New England, they are still asking me, how are things in North Carolina?
Yeah, my family does it too sometimes.
So just now I'm just like, yeah, I used to say, I don't know, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
But now I just say, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
We're good.
Crazy. Okay, so about 9 years ago, you came down here then, yeah?
Yep, March will be 9 years.
And that's when you started getting back into music again?
Roughly. It was a couple years after that.
Okay.
Maybe about 2018.
And what brought that? Just sort of rekindled fire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And at the time, had you written stuff before, or were you just kind of a player? A player.
Player.
He was a player.
Yeah, I wrote a couple songs that hopefully no one ever hears, that are like on SoundCloud and stuff. But outside of that, I didn't really start writing again until about 2018.
Yeah.
And that's when I picked my guitar back up and I was like, why don't I write my own songs? You know?
And then from there, I mean, because obviously I've known you from seeing you. I actually met you at an open
Yeah,
mic. I think
Southern
the first
Roots.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I really liked your sound, I liked your voice, and we just kind of kept in touch through that time. And obviously you're playing out now, and you're doing you're out there on the road on the Charleston
The
road,
local road.
the local road. So when did that sort of transformation come? We thought, I think I want to go out there and play and actually play out.
Probably after a couple months of just going to local open mic nights
Yeah.
and being approached by different venues that were hosting them and being like, would you want to play here on the weekend?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll get paid to do this? All right, yeah. Why not? And it's just kind of grown ever since then.
Yeah.
It's only been a couple times I've ever actually reached out to different venues to play. It's a lot of people have been great and like used word of mouth.
Yeah.
To kind of put my name out there to play different places, and where I've played open mics at different places, and they've been like, we'd love to have you.
So
here.
yeah, it's good. One of the things we like to do here when we're talking to people is because I get this question all the time from either people breaking in, up and coming, whatever it is. How do you get the gigs? How do you do this and how do you do that? And so it's always interesting to hear people's paths into how they get booked at certain places. And for you, that the open mics was really a big pathway in, right?
Yeah,
So
big time.
So the lesson here is just fucking get out and play,
Yeah,
right?
that's all you got to do.
Just get out and play.
And it makes you better.
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
I say the same thing for karaoke. I
Yeah.
love going out and doing karaoke, and not just because it's fun, but it makes me better too.
Yeah.
I'm singing out like in different keys that I can't just adjust with a capo. You know.
Yep.
So it makes you grow, makes you better.
Do you ever take any lessons? I mean, like, did you when you're learning to play, or you were getting
No.
sort of no lessons, just all self-taught?
Yeah, all self-taught, and thank God for YouTube and ultimateguitar.com, and
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a what's the one? Songbook Pro. Do you use that?
No, but I've heard about it.
It's a real good one. Check it
use
out.
that,
It ties into Ultimate Guitar for looking up charts and stuff.
Oh, so you can.
But it's got
kinda
some really great
transfer stuff over.
functionality. Yeah, I'll show it to you afterwards if you
Okay,
want.
yeah.
I think it's great. It's like $5 or something,
Oh,
maybe
worth it.
$6. Yeah.
And you can import into it,
Okay.
like other
And you-
charts into it.
You
Yeah.
can put your own stuff in there too, right?
Yep.
To where, so if you have to use it to scroll and stuff.
You can create set lists
Yep.
on it. You can share. Like I can have a set list and I can upload it to the cloud, and you can pull the set list down. So we're going to play something together.
Okay.
You can sort of put your notes in there, do all the stuff you're going to do, and then push it up there. You pull it down. We've got a match set list.
Dang.
Yeah, scroll it. You can foot
Okay.
scroll it if you want, so you can sort of if you're playing something you're not that familiar with.
You can reference it.
Yeah, you got there for reference. Some stuff that, like some of the open jam stuff that I do with some guys,
Mm-hmm.
they throw out these song lists a couple days before, and you kind of know them, but not that
Yeah.
well. Pull them down in there, and then you can sort of have them in front of you while you're jamming with those guys. And
That's awesome.
it's a really, really cool tool. I'm a huge
Yeah.
promoter of it, and they're not a sponsor. So.
Songbook, not yet. Not yet.
But yeah, Songbook Pro, it's like $6. It's pretty cool tool. I like
I'll
it.
have to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So mostly open mic stuff, yeah. And,
Yep.
And what are some of the places you're playing now? I know you've been playing Tommy Condon's, right?
Yes.
Where
Tommy
else?
Condon's is a pretty big staple of mine.
Yeah. How often you playing there?
In the summertime, maybe about 3 to 4 times a month.
Yeah.
Winter months, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
times a month.
It's a nice feel there. It's a
yeah.
pretty cool
Yeah.
place.
It's cozy.
Yeah.
It's a really
Cozy,
cozy, like local Charleston staple, and that's why I love it. It's
Yeah.
just it's weird because it's an Irish pub, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm playing country music, you know. I'll throw in a couple Irish songs now, but people tend to like it, and we're in South Carolina.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only get so Irish in
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah,
And where else are you playing out at?
Port of Call over on Market Street.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Summertime is also different. I'll play on Isle of Palms at Lawrence's, Coconut Joe's here and there.
Yeah. All good places.
Yeah.
All good places.
A lot of fun. New Realm. I know you guys
Oh,
play
yeah.
New Realm.
Oh,
yeah.
New Realm, we love it there.
Yeah,
They
it's a
love it.
blast
We have
there.
a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun place to play.
yeah.
And
It's got so much potential as a venue. It's crazy.
yeah, I like. So it's really interesting. When we first moved down here, it was what the hell? was it
Something else.
called?
Yeah.
I'd see it's only been 7 years. That's how bad my memory is. Anyway, it was struggling, and then New Realm came and bought it. And there's a lot of questions. How's it going to? Because it's a great spot.
Yeah.
And I really give them a lot of kudos because over the last year or so, they've been doing a lot to try to bring entertainment here on the island. And Josh and Hannah, the general managers there, they're really super nice people. And it's a challenge because this island, we're talking about Daniel Island, is a funny little spot in that you've got, I think it's about 11,000 residents here. It's a decent sized population, but it's not a self-sustaining one, right? Meaning that if you have a restaurant or you've got a good-sized pub like that, not pub really, it's a brewery, you need more than that. You need surrounding areas to come filter in. But because it's an island, not many people come to it.
Yeah.
So, not a lot of people from Mount Pleasant or West Ashley or downtown are coming here necessarily. Whereas the opposite is true. If you live on Daniel Island, well, yeah, you go downtown all the time.
Yeah.
You go to Mount Pleasant. So you don't get the reverse. And I think that's a challenge for people. I give them, as I say, credit because they've been trying new things. Like this winter, they tried a new, fall. They tried a new fall sort of music series where they brought bands
the late
in.
night, right?
Yeah, They closed the restaurant at 9, then reopened it at 9:30, and brought in some good acts to come in. We played one night. Midnight City came in, did a show there. I think Old Soul did a show there, and trying to sort of get something going.
Yeah,
and
get
then,
some traction.
Yeah, get some traction, and they, those things take time. They don't happen overnight, and I know they're pretty high on continuing to do that type of stuff. We had a great New Year's show there. They did a ticketed event, sold the thing out. Great party. We had people dancing for 3 hours. It was a lot of fun. So I hope they keep going down that road because I think they're gaining some traction now, and they're bringing in a lot of the solo stuff like you and Doug Waters and Doug Walters and some of these really great artists. Chris Dodson's played there.
Yep.
And Louis D's been there. So they get some really good people coming in to do the solo stuff. And I think slowly but surely they're generating a little bit of a music feel here, which is nice.
I've noticed it too from the first time I ever played there. I think I was on the outside stage, and it was like a 4 to 7 happy hour kind of gig.
Yeah.
And I want to say the first time there was it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is it like this? This place is so cool.
Yep.
It's beautiful. The way everything is laid out is nice. The kitchen, like the food and everything is great. Drinks are great. So I could never really figure that out until I think I played. It was a pre-party for Dierks Bentley.
Okay, yeah.
Over at Credit One, and I've never seen that place packed like that before. And I was like, okay, so there are times where they got their ducks in a row, and it can be really great.
Yeah, and they're even building up. They're even building up more of a crowd with the non-pre-party stuff, which is nice because, as you say, it's a good spot. For some reason, even on the hottest of days, the wind kind of goes through there nice. It's not too hot. And just to sit there on the couch and watch them. They got the great couch. So I'm basically promoting them, saying you should go there to watch music. It's a great place to sit with some friends and have some drinks and listen to some really, really good music. So
in my experience, any place where there's dogs, I love to play.
That's the other thing.
Oh, it's safe.
Yeah.
Lots of dogs there.
Because people behave when there are dogs around. Either it brings out the best in people or people fear them. But you got a lot of dogs around, you're not going to have trouble.
Speaking of dog places,
I got a different story. I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, I got to hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of dog places, you ever play Palmetto?
No,
that's a place you should play at.
I went there. They used to do an open mic night on Mondays.
Yeah,
that was around when I first moved here, but there was no host. It was
okay.
like you just go and they have this big mixer from like the 80s with about 20 different tracks on it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play acoustic, and
Yeah.
it didn't really work out. I don't think I ever went back after that. But I do love their beer.
Yeah,
You
and I
know?
think they'd like you there. It's a good spot. They do like a brunch, not brunch. It's like 1 to 4, I guess.
Yeah.
Sunday thing. So in good weather, it's nice. And they usually have bands Friday, Saturday night, but I think they do. I know I've played there on Sundays before myself, and I think they do a Thursday night sometimes too.
I'll have to check
But,
that out.
yeah, I'll give you
I
the
haven't thought about it,
contact
yeah.
info over there.
And they're super
nice people.
Yeah.
They're just the best people to play for.
They really are.
Always so kind, always easy to work with.
What you want?
Yeah, and I think that, and the people that just kind of, it's a chill vibe. So people that are sitting out there, I mean, you know what the place is like. They're sitting out there in the picnic tables. I
Yeah.
think they would love your music. So
Yeah. Maybe.
that'd be definitely a good one to hit up.
Yeah. I'll check it out. Speaking about dogs,
Yeah.
just so you know, Alan,
That's good. Good to know.
I played. I won't say the name, but it doesn't really exist anymore. But it was like a brewery, and it was a dog park basically. And the concept was really cool. Just a big dog park, beautiful area, beer, music. But people would go there and just let their dogs loose. Nobody's watching their dogs. And I remember I was playing on stage, and maybe about a total of 15, 20 different dogs just running across, running up, tripping over wires and stuff. And I was
Oh
like,
my
man, nobody's watching their dogs. But
Okay, noted.
yes,
Noted.
That
but
would
it
be-
doesn't.
that would be
I don't think it
stressful.
exists anymore, so we don't have to worry about it anymore.
We tried to bring Rocco once because he's such a band dog and
Yeah.
loves to hang out.
He's the homie.
Yeah, and we thought, you know what? We were playing
Palmetto.
Palmetto. Really nice weather. And
Brought his little bed.
yeah, brought his bed, and my girlfriend brought him. I'm divorced now, so my girlfriend brought him over. We thought, oh, he'll love this.
Yep.
He was just so hyped up. Like,
Oh,
it
all
was-
the people.
oh my god, it
Yeah.
was like too much. He was good. He was fine, but it wasn't like I just figured he'd come hang out on stage with
Yeah.
us and sleep like he
Yeah.
always does. But no, there was way too much stimulus for him.
You got to get one of those like baby Bjorn,
Yeah,
like from The Hangover. Put him in one
Yeah.
of those baby things, you know.
Little snuggie.
that would be amazing. Trying to play with
Yeah.
that on. That might be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, so what are the future plans with your music? Like, what are the goals moving forward?
Specific goals are just write and record.
Yeah,
You know, the more I can write, the better I'll get at it, and the more I can record, the more people can discover and listen. One big thing I try to tell anybody kind of coming up is put it out.
yeah,
Just put it out. Get it on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Because when you're playing out and somebody likes a song, it's a really good thing to be able to say, you can listen to this here. You know, they don't have to necessarily come see you or find you to hear it, but they can listen to it at their own leisure and support you, get some streams.
yeah.
You know, they don't really pay us much for streams, but
Nickels and dimes, right?
yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
But
Now, when you're playing out now, how much of it is your originals versus covers?
it's mostly covers. I sprinkle in originals depending upon the night and depending upon the crowd.
Yeah,
You know, if people are really listening, really intent, kind of listen to what I'm saying between songs and engaging, I'll throw in a lot more original stuff. But if it's more of a party crowd and people are just getting drunk, having fun, you know, dancing around, I'll just play the fun songs. you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yep.
And with the stuff that you're recording, where do you record? Do you record yourself or?
No, I use Costello
Oh, okay.
Studios in Somerville.
Yeah.
I met Chris Vieira at the Honky Tonk Saloon. They used to have an open mic night. I'm big on open mic nights. But they used to have one there, and he used to run sound, and I played, and I don't even know why he approached me because I sucked. Like going back now and like listening, I sucked. I don't even know why he came up to me. But he was like, "Hey, I got a studio. Like, you should come check it out sometime." And ever since then, he's been really awesome to work with.
He's
and
a
just-
good guy anyway.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah.
Too. He's very talented.
He's awesome. So I try to stay faithful with people that have treated me well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll do the same thing. I'll always go to him. Anything I want to record.
I
Well-
just discovered GarageBand. And man, I am a GarageBand freak. And
Yep.
I'm an older guy anyway, so
You can do whatever you want on there. You know.
so technology is not my friend,
Mhm.
right? You know, I'm good with the on-off switch. Anything beyond that, you know, I'm on YouTube.
Yep.
But I've really gotten into this rhythm, you know, for lack of a better term, with GarageBand where I can write any way of one of four approaches,
Yeah.
you know, and it just gives you but it's a lot, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, when I first looked at it, it's like walking by a cockpit in an airplane,
And
and
you're
you
like all
see in
these
the wall.
buttons and
Yeah,
switches.
so it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, breaking it down a little bit by little bit. So, but you've got a good studio, and that's great. If that's moving your stuff, man,
Oh, yeah.
that's getting it down. That's good. That's working for you.
So what's your writing process?
It's always different.
Yeah.
I just wrote a song this past week, maybe week and a half. But when I was writing it, I was trying to figure out what works best for me on process, because I want to continually write and not always have it be just an inspiration. You know, I want to write it as not necessarily a job, but use it as a muscle of like just write all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, make it-
Keep
yeah.
exercising that muscle. Exactly. Yeah.
And I found with this song, it was more of as soon as I found what I wanted to write about, I had a melody in my head, and as soon as I started putting pieces together, it was always in my head. So anytime I was stuck on a line of I don't know where I'm going to go with this necessarily, if I'm driving, it's in my head and I'm thinking, and any idea that popped in my head, I write it down.
Yeah.
Real fast, just write it down. Just keep it on there and then revisit it and put the puzzle pieces together, you know? And outside of that, it's just you can't leave a song unfinished for too long. Even if you think it sucks, finish it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can always change it. That's what I
Exactly.
found. There's one song I've rewritten so many times. I still don't like it, but I'm still gonna keep, you know.
We all don't like our own songs
Yeah, I guess so.
at a certain point, you know?
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, that's great. And sometimes this is what I find is at the very end of the process of me writing a song, and my songs aren't really finished. They're like song ideas, and I do a demo. Once I do the demo,
On to the next.
I am sorry.
On to the next.
On to the next. On
Yeah.
to the next. But what'll happen is when I finish it, then for like a week and a half, I have that song stuck in my head.
Yep.
You know, it's funny that it doesn't happen at any other time except when I'm done and I'm gonna move on to something else. That's when I've got it in my head in a loop. Does that happen? Any
Yes.
thing like that? Yeah.
Yes.
And where does it start for you? Does it start with, I got a guitar riff, I got a chord progression, or I have words, or I have a subject, or I have a melody? Like, where does it tend to?
It used to start with just guitar, just playing different rhythm or melodies, I guess, and chord progressions, and finding something, and then humming something, and
then
seeing how
words
that
and
makes you
subject
feel.
come kind of later afterwards.
Yeah, like you mumble some stuff, you're like, ooh, that could be cool.
Yeah.
You know? But now I found myself specifically either having like an idea of a song, like what would make a really good song, or
I mean, from a lyrical perspective, like storytelling. Yeah.
or just like an event or a feeling, a specific feeling, and being like, wow, that could make a really good song.
And do you tend to find yourself writing from experience, or like you say, the idea of something? Like
both.
Yeah.
Both. The most recent song I wrote is more experience and more just a feeling like in myself on it. And it's just very honest of my feelings.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool to be able to kind of spill that out on a paper and in a song and have it make sense. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. I think that the key that I heard was something honest, right? Because I think if the best stuff comes from being authentic, right?
Yep.
From being who you are. If you sit down, I think, and say, today I'm going to write a dance song, right? Or whatever. Okay, some people can really do that. I mean, bubblegum pop was built off of that. Here's a formula, and I forget the guy's name. Joan Jett, her partner, basically her musical partner. They're two completely different people. I don't know if you've ever seen. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'll remember it and interject it in later on. He literally knew that he could make $1 million anytime he wanted by writing a new sort of bubblegum pop song. He knew the formula, he knew how to do it, but it wasn't authentically who he was, right?
Yeah.
But I think to come up with your best stuff, it has to come from who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the art of it.
Yeah, which is like for me is always a challenge, because whenever I write something, I'm it's such a dichotomy because when I play and I perform, it's like loud and out there and flamboyant and fun and everything is, bigger and better. And every time I write something, it always comes out ballady. So it's just that's who I am inside. Like I write a lot of poetry. Write a lot of poetic prose. It's just what naturally comes out of me when I'm in my most relaxed state.
Yep.
I couldn't write a pop song to save my life, but when I perform, that's what I perform best.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird, like inner. I don't want to say inner struggles. They don't struggle with it, but it's a real weird dichotomy for me.
Yeah.
Every time I write something, it's just ballady, soft. It's just what comes out of me naturally.
Yeah, but what I see in you is you are I don't want to use the word improving, but you're growing at such a rate that eventually, just from you saying that and from what I know about you so far, I can just see eventually it's all going to meet. It's all going to meet somewhere.
Pop ballads.
Not necessarily, but like your desire, whatever you desire to write, and the way you're writing, they're gonna fuse.
Yeah, converge.
Yeah. It's like you always tell me, just keep working that muscle.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like you're talking about finishing songs before. My philosophy is always, even if it sucks, if you finish this one, you're one step closer to the next one.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to funnel through some BS to get the good stuff.
So whatever you're doing, just like close it, finish it, move on.
Yep.
Yeah, completely. So goals are to keep writing,
Yes.
Yeah.
Writing, recording, and
keep recording.
outside of that, I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
You know, my full-time job at the fire department is great. It pays my bills, which is awesome, and I love doing it. I love being a part to help the community.
Yeah.
But the music is really where I'm just having fun. You
Yeah.
know, growing up around it, I love being surrounded in music and being a part of it.
It's in your DNA, man. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what my dad says.
Yeah.
He's like, it's in your blood.
Yep.
You know, and I'm okay with that. So if writing music and playing music and everything like that takes me somewhere to do it full time, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
You know, realistically, probably not, but at the same time, as long as I'm having fun, I'm totally okay
Exactly.
with where I'm at with it.
Well, it's also just such a great way of expression.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it forever. As
Yep.
long as you can make a noise, you can
Yeah.
do music, right?
Yeah.
As long as your face hole, something comes out of it, you can sing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yoko Ono. know?
100%. There you go. I think that's the nice part about it, and I know for me and pretty much every musician I talk to, I get the same kind of feedback. It's a way of personal expression that no one can
Yeah.
replicate,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to play something different than I'm going to play it, even if we're playing the same thing. And it's like
Yeah.
a fingerprint, and there's something really special in that, and something that you want to hold on to and cherish. I was talking to someone earlier today, actually, who was kind of bemoaning about open mics and saying some of the open mics I go to, people are kind of discouraging because I'm kind of learning and I'm a beginner, and other ones are great. I was like, then go to the great ones. and
Exactly.
fuck the shitty ones, because no matter what you're doing, it's you doing it.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not bad. It's just you. And so foster you. Keep doing you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I like the most about music, is that it's completely personal to that person, even if you're playing somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool thing.
And it can be a community, you know?
Yeah.
And like you were talking about earlier, just meeting people and creating different friendships or
Yep.
collaborations, you know, to where you can learn things from one another. And
That's key.
yeah. And when you're talking about people being like shitty at open mic nights or whatever, or even going to a venue and watching someone that's being paid to play and trying to talk to them and they're being a dick or something,
Yeah.
you know, like those people that are gatekeeping stuff and just being shitty about it, like there's no room for it, you know,
Yeah.
because there's plenty of room for everybody
There's
to
plenty of
progress
room.
and help each other, and
That's
just
right.
everybody we're all doing the same thing. We just want to play music because we like it.
Yep.
You know?
And once people let that guard down, I found that there's more good people in this industry and in
Yeah.
this area. And I've learned more by watching, talking to, just having conversation with people in this business, and you can learn a lot from the good
Yeah,
people
yeah.
because they're willing to help. They're willing,
Yeah,
to,
willing
share.
to share.
Yeah.
They're willing to teach. I mean, half this stuff that we're doing, I didn't know shit about sound when we started this
Same.
thing, and I had to learn all that stuff, and I didn't know one thing from another. You talk to people, and they teach you something. They show you this, they show you that. And, oh, have you looked at this before? No, what's that? It's just such a. If you put yourself out there, you'll get to the right people.
Yeah,
I think the challenge is not to get discouraged by one or two dicks who sort of
exactly.
give you this.
Yep.
Just move on. Find the next
Mhm.
person. You will find some good people out there. So
Yep. Stay optimistic.
yeah, 100%. All right, so we got the music, we got the fire. We also discovered today, you got some big news on the family front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah,
So-
man.
I'm pretty excited about it. That's what I ended up writing my most recent song about, is kind of just being a dad.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about, where it's really about me, and my feelings and everything. So
And what are those feelings?
I'm leaving. No, I'm just kidding.
Combination of terror and,
Yes,
and
being
joy.
scared,
Yeah.
being excited, and like it's just a whole new, different part of life that you don't really know until you're there,
Yeah.
until you feel that, and it's
Well, let me help you.
let's hear it.
As you walk through this time of pregnancy, you're going to want to remember three things. First thing, shut up.
Yep.
Because
I learned that one.
nothing you've got to say matters or is worthy. The other thing is put the crib together in the nursery because it won't fit through the
Yes,
door.
I saw that. So I'm supposed to be building one.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. So
I'm gonna make it so I
and
can
then
take it apart.
Third thing, remember the first thing.
Just shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah, it is. It can wait 9 months. It
Yeah.
really can. Whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
congratulations.
It's a big life step, and it's
Yeah.
an amazing step, and
Mhm.
we've both been through that process, so we know what it's like. And
It's going to be the best time of your life. It's like being a dad is the best thing in the world. I'm a grandpa too, and that's wonderful, but it's just not like being a dad.
Yep.
That's
That close knit.
yeah.
it sounds so cliche, but it happens fast.
Yeah, man.
I
So
know.
just take advantage of every second you
Mm-hmm.
even in the worst of times, like every second you think about, and just the blessing that it is.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
really
excited
amazing.
for you, man. That's
Thank you.
that's wonderful.
All right, so if people want to find your stuff,
Yes.
where do they find out about you?
Anywhere you can Google me.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora. I have my own station.
Oh, okay.
Pandora.
On Pandora.
I didn't know that till a couple weeks ago. That was cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But Adam Tomcat. That's it.
You got
That's
it.
cool.
You got it. You want to play some music?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll
some
play a
music.
song for you.
All right. Thanks for coming to me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
chatting.
So, what's this song called that you're going to do?
This song is called Prayed Like This.
Prayed Like This.
Prayed Like This.
All right. Have at it, brother.
All right. I hope you're healthy and happy. Yeah, I've been trying to wrap my head around being a daddy. Yeah, I'm nervous, a little scared. And I'd be lying if I tried to say that I was prepared. No matter how tough it gets, the truth is I never prayed like this. I'm asking God to give every benefit, saving grace ain't a warm embrace. Just to see a smile on that angel face like this. Wanna be a better man and do the best I can to give you the world that I never had. It's gonna be a long road to learn. One day you'll find out when it's your turn. Oh, I ever prayed like this. I'll pick a guitar and put you to sleep. Here I sing any melody just to watch you dream. I hope those eyes, you get them from your mama. And if you're anything like me, I know you wanna, and you're gonna pray like this. I'm asking God to give every bit of His saving grace and a warm embrace, just to see a smile on that angel's face. And like this, wanna be a better man and do the best I can to give you the world that I never had. It's gonna be a long road to learn, and one day you'll find out when it's your turn. Oh, I ever prayed like this. Oh, I ever prayed like this. And if you can hear me, yeah, I know you're near me through it all. Every day, in every way, I put my trust in you, and all I know to do is pray like this. I'm asking God to give every bit of His saving grace and a warm embrace, just to see a smile on that angel face. Like this, wanna be a better man and do the best I can to give you the world that I never had. It's gonna be a long road to learn, and one day you'll find out when it's your turn. Oh, I ever prayed like this. Oh, oh, I ever prayed like this. Oh, I ever prayed like this.
Thank you for watching Open Mic with Groove Kitty. We hope you enjoyed the episode. This podcast is for you, so please make sure you share, like, follow, and subscribe. When you do, it increases our exposure on every platform. This, in turn, helps to promote our guests. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. Thanks again. We'll see you all again soon.